I know in my last video I talked about the belief that I have that having Daniel Bryan win the 2015 Royal Rumble is stupid. And for the reasons that I stated in that video, I still believe that. However, with that said, a couple of things that I should touch on and clarify is that first and foremost, it's not like the WWE ever really is put in position a great alternative option for the 2015 Royal Rumble, and as a result, the WrestleMania 31 main event, which is a huge problem, as I have discussed previously. I mean, you could sit there and do some type of like convoluted Shield triple threat main event at that show, and that might work. You could sit there and do something where you would have Reigns win and go on to face Cena instead of Lesnar, where I think the dynamics are better. You know, this whole notion that Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar would automatically be the best option and the best match, I kind of dispute that. Do you really trust Brock Lesnar to carry the strap into WrestleMania 31, knowing damn good and well that's going to be his last show, knowing what happened the last time he worked his last match for WWE, if you will? The problem is that no matter how you really look at it, there really isn't like that rock solid, outstanding alternative. I mean, you could sit there even with Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar, and at least to make it passable to me, you could sit there and get to a situation where you would have Seth Rollins cash in and then him become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And at least you could launch right into Bryan and Rollins post-WrestleMania in a title feud. And frankly, that was the match I had penciled in for months for those two guys, was just Daniel Bryan versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, not for the title or anything, mind you. But at least that could work. At least that could be salvageable. That would be the WWE doing a good job of salvaging a very bad situation. And as I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this and seeing that Reigns winning the Rumble, he's clearly not ready. The momentum more so isn't there at this particular point in time. The fact that Ryback maybe could be that guy, but they're not really positioning to be as such. Ambrose has lost some momentum. Bray Wyatt doesn't have any momentum. Cesaro doesn't have any momentum. Daniel Bryan, I mean, seriously, you put aside your Daniel Bryan love for a second. He really doesn't have a ton of momentum either. And, just because you didn't do it last year doesn't mean it's a good idea to do it this year. Seth Rollins is already the Money in the Bank winner, so he doesn't really need to win the Rumble. There just really isn't a good alternative. There really isn't a good option that I foresee at this point. Which brings me to the whole point of this video, is that this is where I really notice the loss of CM Punk. This is where I can really see the impact of not having CM Punk of the WWE and how badly that hurts the WWE. Because this would have been the moment. This would have been the perfect time to finally give CM Punk that true WrestleMania moment, that true WrestleMania main event. Because as much as everybody wants to get behind Daniel Bryan now winning the 2015 Royal Rumble, Daniel Bryan, to be fair, has already had his WrestleMania moment. He's already had his WrestleMania main event. The one guy that never did, that frankly should have gotten that opportunity in that moment, was CM Punk. I mean, for Christ's sakes, The Miz got a WrestleMania main event, and CM Punk never got himself a WrestleMania main event. Just think about that for a second. This would be the moment. This would have been that opportunity. And that's why it's so frustrating for me to see what happened with CM Punk and see the fact that he couldn't hang around until July, that the WWE couldn't find a way to give him more time off. The WWE didn't do a better job with him. CM Punk got frustrated and fed up and went home and all of this crap. It's very frustrating for me to see, because I see right here at WrestleMania 31, even the Royal Rumble 2015, this could be CM Punk's time, and this could have been CM Punk's moment. You could have finally had him win the Royal Rumble, something that he's never done. And while you might sit there and say, well, part of the reason you didn't want Daniel Bryan to win the 2015 Rumble is because he's an already established top guy. Yeah, that's true. But the one big distinction and the one huge difference and the one thing that makes the dynamics of CM Punk winning the Rumble to me so much greater than Daniel Bryan, let's say, winning the Royal Rumble in 2015, is the fact that this is CM Punk's opportunity to do what Daniel Bryan has already done, and that is have an entire WrestleMania built around him and have that WrestleMania main event, that true, real deal WrestleMania moment. The whole story going in from Rumble to WrestleMania 31 could have been all about that with CM Punk. And then when you tie in the elements of Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman And CM Punk could represent the anti-Brock Lesnar, the guy who's actually there all the time instead of the guy that comes and goes as he pleases. You have the history there, obviously, with Paul Heyman. The fact that they wrestled at SummerSlam 2013. There are just so many different things and so many dynamics that make this so glaring to me, especially when I look at the fact, and I don't give a damn whether you believe in Daniel Bryan or Roman Reigns or Ryback or Dean Ambrose. I'm sorry, there's not a clear-cut, really legit, great option to win the 2015 Royal Rumble, and I stand behind that. Henceforth, where it ties into what I've talked about previously, the huge problem the WWE has with their WrestleMania 31 main event. They really, frankly, don't have one. But CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar could have been that WrestleMania 31 main event. Frankly, should have been that WrestleMania 31 main event. And while I'm not going to sit there and just blame WWE, and I'm not going to sit there and just blame CM Punk, I can kind of blame all parties involved for screwing this up and in part helping to create a situation where the WWE finds themselves currently. It's very frustrating because that would have been it. There are so many elements and so many dynamics that would have worked so brilliantly with having CM Punk win the 2015 Royal Rumble and then go on to main event WrestleMania 31, perhaps beat Brock Lesnar, become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And this is coming from a guy that's not a huge Punk fan by any stretch of the imagination. And you guys know this. But I'm sensible enough and logical enough to understand when things are right. And understand, in my opinion anyways, when I think something could really benefit the company and the business as a whole. And I just don't see where anything at this point in time, based off of the way the WWE has set things up because they are idiots, really stands out to me as a cut above everything else as being so star-spangled awesome. And frankly, even if there's an argument that said, well, Daniel Bryan versus Lesnar could produce the best match. Really? I would think the Shield and a triple threat would produce a better match, and I'm not a fan of triple threat matches. Well, Roman Reigns is that next christened guy, and he could be this. Okay, that may be the case, but it most certainly doesn't appear ready now, and frankly, the WWE hasn't done a good enough job of positioning to him where he can be ready. You know, Dean Ambrose, he's not really ready. You know, like I said, Daniel Bryan, he's had that moment. He's had that WrestleMania main event. And at least if you're going to say, well, CM Punk's not exactly a new star, you're not really needing to establish him, you're kind of wasting a spot. I understand that to a degree. However, again, he still never had that WrestleMania main event. And when I look here at WrestleMania 31, and even leading into it with the 2015 Royal Rumble, I just see this huge void. This huge loss to us as fans and to the WWE and to WrestleMania, to CM Punk and to Brock Lesnar. Because I think that would have been the real money match. There's history there on so many different levels. The dynamics would have worked so incredibly well. And as much as you're talking about Daniel Bryan making sure that he's the unanimous babyface against Brock Lesnar, CM Punk would have done the exact same thing, if not more so, because this would have finally been his WrestleMania main event. There are certain moments where I sit there and say, WWE doesn't really miss Punk. Punk can go fuck right off as far as I'm concerned. But then there are those moments where I sit there and I say, man, yeah, this company really misses CM Punk, and it's obvious to me. This road to WrestleMania 31 is when it's really, really becoming obvious just how much this company misses a CM Punk. Because that WrestleMania 31 main event was there. Their 2015 Royal Rumble winner was there. Except he's not anymore. Which has helped, in part, create the quagmire and a kind of murky, mucky situation that we have heading into this year's Royal Rumble and heading into this year's WrestleMania. This was CM Punk's time. It's a shame things couldn't have worked out better. The WWE couldn't have been better to him. That CM Punk couldn't have been more patient. Because this was that time, damn it. Instead of talking about CM Punk wondering who he's going to fight in the UFC, we're going to be talking about what CM Punk's going to do main eventing WrestleMania. And it's a shame we won't get to see that.